Hey guys, it's Mark with Spiguyver Backpacking. Hope you guys are having a great day today. I'm still fighting a little bit of this cold. I've got a sinus infection that I'm trying to get knocked out right now, but you know, I'm doing okay. So today I wanted to bring you out here into my kitchen, and I was going to throw together a little bit of a backpacking meal. Now this one, a little bit of the credit has to go to Jack's Drink Water, because it's kind of coming from something that he put together. I'm going to tweak it a little bit, probably add a couple of items, just because that's what I want to do. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. So here's what we've got. So I've got my bowl that I'm going to mix it up in. I've got some Sweet Baby Ray's. You can use anything. I actually usually prefer the Red Hots, the Frank's Red Hots buffalo sauce. This was actually on sale last time I went, and it's what Jack's had used. Hidden Valley Ranch, the original. Got to make sure you get that. I'm only using two of the big cans of the premium chicken breast, and we'll make sure that we shred that up. And I'm going to add in a few pickles, diced up pretty small, into the mix. So this is what we're going to start with. So let's do this. So I'm going to start with doing these pickles. So I'm going to pull about three of these pickles out of here, and that should work to give me the amount of pickle I want. And then I'm going to cheat a little bit and use this bad boy, this Pampered Chef chopper. A few whacks, and then we got some nice diced, chopped pickles. I'm going to take this, I'm going to throw it right in here. Use a fork to kind of scrape it off. Get her in there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and use the safety can opener. Open these up, drain them, and I'll come back once they're drained. Alright, so I've got the 2 cans drained. Just going to drop both of them in there, get all this out. Okay, good. Now I'm going to use my fork and kind of mash it up, because I don't want these big chunks. These big chunks are no good for dehydrating. You really want them to come down into very small chunks. Now I will say that in Jax's video he mentioned that you shouldn't use regular chicken, that this canned chicken works out much better. And while that's mostly true, I will say that there is one way that I found that you can use regular chicken breast and have it work out really well. And that's to use one of those KitchenAid stand mixers. After you go ahead and cook the chicken, throw it in there and let that shred it. And as long as it gets it down to small shredded pieces, it actually works out really well and rehydrates a whole lot better than anything that you've chopped up into small little chunks. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this up, and then I'll come back once I've got it down to the size I want. Okay, so I'm almost to the size and texture that I'm looking for. Really what I want is I want it to be pretty much looking like shredded chicken. So you aren't coming up with any of the big chunks. I mean, even like this chunk right here, while it's not huge, I still want to kind of break that down a little bit. So I'm going to continue to mix this up, find the little chunks, and break them apart. And it just helps with the rehydration process, especially if you're out and you're doing a no cook type deal where you're using just cold water. You definitely want it where it's going to rehydrate as easily as possible. And by breaking it down into smaller chunks, it does give you that option of doing a no cook and getting it done that way. So now it looks like it's pretty well down to that size that I'm looking for. As I add in more pieces, I'll continue to stir it, and it'll get us where we want it. So next, I'm going to add in the ranch dressing mix. Now, I'm using a whole lot less of the base material than what Jax does in his video. I believe he uses 5 of the cans, and I'm only using 2, but I'm still going to go ahead and use that whole amount. Next, I'm going to open up the buffalo wing sauce and pour in a pretty generous amount to start with. I'm going to mix it up, and then once I get it mixed up, I'm going to go ahead and take a little taste test, see how it tastes, and then adjust as accordingly. Now I'm one of those guys, I like it super saucy. When I go to Buffalo Wild Wings and I order something, I always ask for it extra wet, because that's how I like it. So you mix it how you like it, I mix it how I like it, and everyone's happy. And that being said, you can use any type of the mix that you want. So if you don't like Sweet Baby Ray's, You know, go get the Buffalo Wild Wings stuff. Go get the Frank's Red House stuff. Whatever kind you want. So here we go. I'm gonna get a little spoonful here. Forkful. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Nice amount of spice, a little bit of heat there. The pickle adds a nice little crunch, a little something to it. For me, this is pretty much right where I want it. One of the things I want to do so that I make sure that I'm rehydrating it properly out there on the trail is to figure out how much moisture I'm actually taking out of it. So I'm going to be a little bit more scientific on this one than I have on any of my other dehydrating videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh this out, and I'm going to take, I mean, this is a pretty good amount here. This is probably good for 3 portions, but I'm going to go ahead and make this just 2 portions because a lot of times when I'm out on the trail after a long day, 15, 20 miles on the trail, I want something substantial to eat. And so I'm going to go ahead and portion this out into 2. So what I'm going to do is I just put this plate onto my scale, hit the tare button so it's zeroed out. I'm going to load it all on here, figure out how much is there, divide it in half, and do each one of those onto a tray in my dehydrator. So let's get these portioned out, measured. Okay, so we have 665 grams. So just about 666. We'll make that 333 and 332. So I'm going to get the dehydrator out and we'll start this. Okay, so I have my fruit roll-up trays on my regular trays. I'm going to go ahead and scoop out about what looks like about half and then weigh it again. Make sure that I get it right where I want it. Okay, so this is half. I've got 333 left on here, so I'm going to go ahead and shut off the scale. Don't need that anymore. At least not for this part. Not until after we get it dehydrated. So now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of smash this down, move it around, and spread it out so that I create a nice thin layer for it to dehydrate. And you don't want it to be super thick. You don't want it to be all clumped together in one area. So it's important to make sure that you spread it out. This is another spot where you'll be able to see and notice if there were any big chunks in there. And right now it doesn't look like there are. It looks like they're all pretty well broken down. So to me that looks good for tray 1. So we'll go ahead and move this off to the side. Bring in the next fruit roll-up tray and do the same thing. So here we go. I've got it in the dehydrator now. You can see I've got actually a blank layer in between the two just to give a little bit more air circulation, and there's the bottom layer. So I have 2 trays set for 2 servings, and I'm going to let this go for about 8 hours, and somewhere in the middle I may see how it is and try and flip it over, but for now it's in there and it's going. So now it's fully dehydrated, and you can see just how crispy it is. It just kind of crumbles, falls apart, and that's the consistency you're looking for. So now I'm going to take it off of there, put it into this bowl, and weigh each of the servings that I'm going to do. So I want to go ahead and crunch it down, break it down into smaller pieces just to get it to fit in there so that I can weigh it. And then after it's in there, I'll go ahead and actually smash it down so that it'll fit into the bags a whole little bit better. I want to make sure I get everything off of the tray. So here I go. I'm going to go ahead and smash it down for you. Because if you have the big chunks, when you put them into the freezer bags or the bowl bags, then they can tend to put rips into the bags. So the weight on this first batch is 96 grams. Now here are the bowl bags that I talked about. And so this is what I can put it into. Now there's a couple different ways you can do it, but
for now, we're just going to pour it in here and seal it up. What's nice about these bags is you can go ahead and write on them, use a Sharpie, and put exactly how much weight is in there and how much water it'll take to rehydrate them. So I went ahead and used the vacuum sealer to make a hot seal on the top of this. So this one is completely sealed. Now for the second bag, I was trying to use the pressure, the vacuum sealer to suck out the air, but it really wasn't working, so I had to go ahead and put it into the actual vacuum sealer bag. And so I'm going to go ahead and seal this one. You'll be able to see the difference real quick. As it sucks out all the air, it really compacts it down and makes it a nice pressure seal there so that it will last a lot longer, so there's not air on it the whole time. Okay, it looks like all the air is out. So I'm going to go ahead and do the seal on it. All right, and so this is what it comes out as. And then I'm going to go ahead and just take this, fold it up, and put it inside of the bowl bag so that I have something to eat it out of that's a little bit easier. Now you could eat it right out of the vacuum seal bag, but because of the corners, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So just by putting it in here, the bowl bag is really nice to eat out of. So that's what I'm going to do. And there you go. 2 different ways. All right, so yesterday I put together the meal, the buffalo chicken wraps that Jack's Drinkwater had done on his site. And I wanted to show you guys the end result. So you saw me vacuum seal them. Well, I tried vacuum sealing it in these bowls. These are the I guess they're just bowl bags that you can get by Make Your Gear, one of Dutch's companies. And then this one I actually used the Food Saver bag, shrink wrapped it in that, and then put it inside of the bowl bag so that you can carry it. So you guys saw the math on how I came up with it, with how much water to add to rehydrate them. So I went ahead and wrote that on each package so that when I'm out on the trail, I can actually just see, well, this one takes 9.6 ounces, so about 10 ounces. And really, I estimate most of it anyway. And this one is exactly 8 ounces. Well, it was just shy of 8 ounces. It was 0.96 cup. So I just went 8 ounces, wrote it on here. A little bit watery is not going to hurt anything. Now, if I was like a half cup over, that would be another story. So I've got them written on there. So all I have to do is boil the water. The great thing, even with this one, which is a little bit bigger serving, you know, these are going to make a pretty good sized meal. And because this only takes 8 ounces or just about 10 ounces, I can use my little solo kit. So the ultralight backpacking kit that I carry with me using the 12-ounce Batch Stoves pot is perfect for this because I can boil up that amount of water and I don't have to carry anything bigger. Just dump it in here, throw it in the cozy, and let it rehydrate. So it works out really well.